Another important lesson is indigenization of critical technologies. We need to really indigenize. We've been giving a list that what are the critical technologies that need to indigenize. I'll just talk about it a little later, very briefly. And cyber hardening is something. So these were the important lessons that I thought emerged from Operation Sindoor. Operation Sindoor is I would say a very, very short sort of a skirmish which was there. So we need to just take it as far as these lessons are concerned in that light. It is not a full war the way it may sort of emerge. So a few recommendations that I have, and I'll wind up with that for the industry. We have to invest in research and development. We've been talking about it. Our private industries, and I sort of can be corrected, spend less than 1% on. Most of it is being spent by the government. So it is 60% I think the government spends and 40% is what the private industry spends. That is according to some statistics. So I take it as far as that is concerned. But the bottom line is we need to invest in R&D. R&D by nature, you will have failures and you will have successes. So we need to invest in R&D, invest in component level R&D. There are so many components that we still bank upon getting from outside. So seeker technology, engines, we are really grappling with problems as far as this is concerned. Ramjet, etc. The list is long. Again, laser, high power microwave. We need to really invest in R&D and take it forward. Atmanirbharta is not, an option. We have to be absolute. Locus of control has to be inside. We have to have all the critical technologies which should be available to us. Nobody should hold us hostage as far as critical technology and critical supply is concerned. The third issue is profit is important, very, very important, but please do not compromise on the quality and timely delivery. I did talk about the pain that we all felt because the deliveries were not on time. Must stick to timelines. I would also talk about 4 C's. Cooperate, collaborate, compete, but please do not complain. So what we find very frequently that if something is not coming our way, we would say that there is a Chinese component in product X and everything gets stalled. Mr. Ashok talked about some file lying in somebody's table for whatever time, he said 16 weeks or whatever. Perhaps the reasons are so many. We are a democracy. And if such complaints come that perhaps the things are not sort of absolutely clean, there is no way but to, sort of investigate. So these are challenges that we all have to work through as a team. And that's why I said when I started off, it is we. It is we who have to be ready to fight the war. It is not the soldiers only who can win a war. It is soldier and the industry going together. The next recommendation is that has the time come, it's a question that I'm asking, has the time come to sort of have a concept of national champions? Now, I would not go that far to have a national champion, but at least to restrict some of you looking at developing capabilities and gaining expertise in a field, rather than everybody going for everything. So now drone is the new thing in town. So everybody wants to get into drone. Is that a good way? Everybody wants to get into anything which is there. So what will happen? Today there is a lot of requirement of drones. So everybody is going to get into that. Perhaps 2, 3, 4 years down the line, again, what was mentioned that there is a glut in the market. Now what do the industries do? How do you keep it running? So it may be a good idea to develop a niche, less people, cooperate, and thereafter take it forward. Testing is another thing that that's another recommendation that I have, that we do not have good testing facilities as far as our Indian ecosystem is concerned. So I would request that together the services and the military needs to take it forward. Now, EW is something we are looking at. So do we have a EW range where actually the drone manufacturers can go and test it out? So what we have done, we've thrown it open to the industry that, okay, we will provide you assistance, and I'm going to come out with some sort of a policy framework which would be available to the industry, that such and such, after a couple of months, we will have 3 or 4 days when some sort of EW environment will be available to you all. So testing is something that we need to look at. We need to have standards so that the procurement cycles can shrink. We talked about procurement cycles, how they can shrink. A lot of time is taken in testing, validating. In case I get an equipment which is ready to be inducted, why should I bother to test? Why should I bother and waste time to going to high altitude or going through various EMI tests, various tests that are required? So if you can give me a product which is well tested, which we can utilize immediately, why go through all the pains of quality control, which I'm sure will get addressed during the next part. My final recommendation, of course, is about drones, which I talked about. There is a lot of scope, civil-military fusion, and we've been following the campaigns that are going on, that how in the face of the enemy, there is modification which is going on. So drone provides us this sort of because it is a dual-use technology, it's being used in a lot of walks of life. So this is something where we can actually develop an ecosystem. And unfortunately, again, I found when I talked about this, how do we get through the Chinese sort of trap? I found that a lot of things are available cheaply. So a shortcut is taken by getting parts or the drone parts from outside. So we need to develop this. We've been in consultation with the Ministry of Defense and others to come up with a framework, and I'm sure by September, October, we should be out with a drone framework wherein we are looking at how to incentivize firstly all the production which is there, how to get through the vulnerabilities, how to facilitate testing would be the basic theme of this particular. So there are the requirement of drones for the Indian Armed Forces is massive. So I would request that special emphasis be played on that. And towards that end, my compliments to FICCI, because I think the basic theme here is this, and we're going to have a lot of discussion on that. So ma'am, my compliments to you all for organizing this particular event. My compliments for such a wonderful, the three of you really set the stage. There's nothing much for me to articulate thereafter. You touched upon all the correct things, and I'm sure the discussions in the afternoon today are going to come up with some very, very viable solutions. I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much for your patience, and good luck to you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your perspective, which was indeed very, very comprehensive.